Hello, my name's the Mesozoic Maniac, and this is the reasons why we study the Earth. The Earth contains a lot of life, many forms of life. So far, we are the only one, but do you think what's out there? Maybe aliens? I don't know. Aside from life, the gratitude we express what's in this planet are usually in four common spheres. We got the atmosphere, which is all the air and the sky. The biosphere, all life, both living and extinct. The hydrosphere, all the water, and the lithosphere, which is more so on rocks and on land. So number one is that the Earth doesn't like to move still, thanks to Platetectonics. The man who domino affected the theory of plate tectonics is Alfred Wegener, who stated that the coastlines of Africa and South America matched, which was once part of an ancient landmass called Pangaea. Scientists didn't take his discovery too well until an overwhelming amount of evidence later supports it based on the matching rocks and fossils. Basically, the plates keep on going and going. Moving on to the plates, the main factors of these things happening are what natural forces of Earth would so violently shake or erupt, other than the volcanoes and earthquakes we have here on our planet. They are what essentially keeps the plates shifting, moving around in different directions thanks to their own driving force, which is the heat that is coming from the second layer of the Earth known as the mantle. Earthquakes are a series of movements of the Earth's crust that gives a sudden burst of energy making them move. A broken fracture of a crust that is moved is called a fault. They can move in any direction based on these pictures. Volcanoes are the openings or vents that release huge steam and hot mantle material called magma that is when shot up outside of a volcano is now called lava. Some can spawn lava in devastating ways, which makes up for very warm environments for them to erupt, with examples such as Mount Krakatoa and others bringing destruction. Now that we know what makes the Earth move, the Earth also likes to leave behind clues on how it is constantly changing through time. This literally goes way back about the time to the father of geology, known as James Hutton, with the theory of uniformitarianism, which states that geological processes that are happening now most likely happened in the past. Yeah, it's a big word, I know, but it is. So the usual start of this story through the rock cycle would be through igneous rocks. These are rocks that form inside or outside of a volcano. Some can form large crystals depending on the temperature and how fast they can cool. Some can form no or less crystals, like obsidian, which has a glassy texture. Unfortunately, we can't summon the nether portal with this one. Moving on to the second type of rocks in the cycle are sedimentary rocks. These form from compacted small rocks or minerals material called sediments that have been broken down through many natural forces, physically or chemically, which are the two main types of how they are broken called weathering. They can also be transported or eroded, thanks to things like watery settings, which will lead them to be deposited. They also can tell a great story as they are the basis for understanding how fossils formed from bones, shells, and even tracks. Metamorphic rocks are rocks that are being formed due to stress and pressure and heat from the mantle. They usually form folded layers as a result. Their textures can also vary, as well as depending on how exposed they are from the heat or pressure they are exposed in. Moving away from the rock cycle into the Earth's history, the story spans billions of years. How we tell that story is based on the fossil record and rocks that scientists find to give clues as to what Earth may have looked like in the past. There are four major ways to understand Earth chronologically. An eon spans billions of years, like the Precambrian eons, where it went from a violent world with fire and how single-cell life gave way to multicellular life. The current eon we are in is called the Phanerozoic eon, meaning that life has already taken place and everywhere else you go. An era is millions and millions of years old, spanning a majority of combined million-year-old events, such as the Paleozoic era, where it tells the story of small little alien creatures existing underwater, terrifying armored fishes, and an array of early reptiles and mammals. A period is a smaller category of a million years, which is placed in a lower level of an era, making the bulk of that said era. For example, there are three periods of time that make up the Mesozoic era: the Triassic period, the Jurassic period, and the Cretaceous period. These time periods tell the story during the age of reptiles, how dinosaurs rose to dominance, and met their demise later on, only for their close relatives, the birds, to carry their legacy. An epoch is something if we just scoot over for a smaller scale, only going for a few thousand years or so. From the Pleistocene epoch to the Holocene epoch, we see the last of the Ice Age and the fewer of megafauna, like mammoths and saber-toothed cats. We also see the rise of humans, bringing us to the present day. All these factors and topics in our planet in some areas affect our livelihood as a whole. Like, nobody back then knew what Platetectonics was until fairly recently. The crazy thing about the big word that James Hutton uses, yeah, new rocks are also being created, meaning that the rock cycle never really ends. The land, the sky, the ocean are systems that keep our Earth spinning around to support life. These systems also help us understand by facing our current natural problems in the world, like preventing natural disasters or the preservation of life that is endangered from extinction. I personally believe that just only by going outside and seeing what this world has to offer in so many ways, that regardless of like what walk of life you are from, with your aspirations, your failures and triumphs, is that you will always be a part of a wonderful story that will be cherished by this planet we call Earth. And that's about it. See ya.